now that we have our level design created, if you haven't done so, I would recommend that you include and work on creating a level 3 with the industrial expansion pack, so that you have that ready to go for this next step, which is to include some of our objects. So I'm going to go back to level 2 here, and I'm going to go ahead and go and insert our player. So I'm going to grab my player, bring this into the level, put the player here. Just for practices, I'm going to go ahead and change this character out from green. So I'm going to go ahead and double click to change the graphics. Make sure that we're not adding a frame here. Kenney has put together a nice bounding box around both of the players, as well as setting up the origin on these characters. I just want to replace the graphics. So I'm going to go ahead and select the first one, go to the folder. I'm going to go to the original tile pack, asset pack, because this has the characters, and I'm going to go ahead and choose, I'm going to go with the beige character. So I'm going to upload that. Again, this character is facing the wrong direction, so I'm going to use the flip tool, and then I'm going to go grab the other one. And there we go. And I'm going to flip the character so the eyes are facing the correct direction. If I look at the polygon collider, I notice that it has not changed, as well as the origin has not changed as well. If you feel like the character is not working correctly, come back in here, double check that the origin is set to bottom on both, and that the collision polygon is set to a nice rectangle around the body itself. Now, in order for the player, which has a platform behavior, the tile map is that if the player, when you play test, the player just falls through the level like so, you may need to set the tile map to have a solid behavior. So on the tile map, go to behaviors. We're going to add a new behavior. Make sure you have solid added to your tile map, as well as the other tile map as well from the other level. Make sure we have that set up there as well. Make sure that, again, you're saving your work often. And then I can go ahead and play test my level. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. And right now my player, the player is there, but its animation is not working. So let's take a look and see what's going on there. Close out a preview. Look at my player, look at my level. So I do have the event sheets working here. And I notice that all my player has been switched out. I'm going to go back to level 1 just to verify. So go back to level 1 here as well. The player is not going through its animation. So let's troubleshoot real quick. Both and graphics I picked were with the feet or closed. So I need to go ahead and change this out. And let's see if this is the correct one with the feet. Feet opened up. There we go. Again, save my work. Go back to level 1, play test again. And there we have it. So player is working, new character design. Let's go take a look at the other levels. So level 2, if these are not open, if you don't have your other levels opened up, you can double click on the layout to open that up. And here we go. So player is looking good. Remember that you want to remove any of the collision polygons around the tiles. So I can go through this tree here, but I can't go through the base of this tree here because some of the colliders are still active. The way to figure this out, if you come across this issue, is that in the layout, they show collision polygons, and I'm going to take a look at all of the red. All the red indicates solid. So I've got these 2 fence posts, as well as these branches on the tree that I need to fix. So I'm going to open my tile map up a little bit here. This fence here has a collision on it. The secondary fence on the end has a collision on it. And those red boxes will disappear once the collision is taken off. Looks right here on the this one here on the tree, as well as the one on the edge there as well. And then you can kind of look through the rest of your tile map. See here as well, I got some branches here that have that red. Or if you think that you may have an invisible tile on accident and you're jumping on something, it could be a collision polygon has been activated still, and then you need to make sure that you remove that as needed. And oh, there you go, little fence there, the single fence post as well, so make sure those are all removed. And then I got some of this little wheat. I believe this is it. Let's verify. Yep. Okay, we're all set up. Save my work again, and then just go ahead and play test, verify that everything is working correctly, that your player can in fact make it from one end to the other, that you're walking in front of things that you should be walking in front of, like so. Very good. Now, things that you may come across here is that here I've created this ledge right here that the player could essentially walk on this ledge, and then maybe a jump through block here. We'll cover that on a singular video. How do we actually fix the tile map to make the player walk and then jump through on specific areas? Same thing here. If I wanted to come over here and walk past this platform, you think that you would be able to, but because each of these graphics in the tile map are connected, you have to separate them out in order for the player to actually walk in front of this area here. Okay, so we have our player. What about enemies? There is a bat, so I'm going to go ahead and put this bat in here. So I'm going to drag and drop the bat in here. The bat itself has the sign behavior, which allows for an up and down, left or right movement. Those are the very simple ones with the sine wave. Here, I want this bat to go up and down vertical, so it's set to vertical on the movement. The period, again, is how fast it goes between a cycle and the distance. So if each square on our grid is 18 pixels, and I want this bat to transition 1, 2, that would be 30, 18 and 18, that's 36. So I'm going to change this to 36 pixels. And there's our bat going up and down. And if I hit the bat, it'll reset the level based on the events. If for some reason you get this, so if I take out the event sheet here, this may happen to you. If it looks like your player is running constantly like that, it means the event sheet has not been added to the layout correctly. So verify that on your other two levels that we've created. Make sure the event sheet is attached, so that way you know that the events are working properly. And then, so I've got this bat up and down. Maybe I want to put a bat right here, but I want to make this one go horizontal. So I'm going to go ahead and change the movement to horizontal. And then I'm going to change the period. I'm going to go up to 6, so it's slower. And the distance, we're going to go with, let's go to like 64, and let's see what this looks like. And so that's going to bat is going to go. And same thing here as well. I cannot walk on this plat, so I got to jump up here. And then verify that you can still jump on those enemies there. All right, that's the bat. Now the next one, the actual bug, is a little bit tricky. So let's go back to the level 1 here. And let's look at this one preview mode. This little bug is going to walk between this little kind of cutout. This bug is using the tile map to determine if it's overlapped on a specific position. And it's using the bullet behavior for motion rather than having the platform behavior like the previous tutorial. So a different look on how to make the enemies move. But what's important is that if I try to use this bug on this level, so I'm going to put this bug in here, and let's say if I leave the bug here for a minute, you'll notice that it kind of just floating in the air. That's because it's using the bullet behavior, not the platform behavior. But even if I want to put this bug on the ground, like so, where it's actually on the platform, it won't interact with this tile map. We have to actually create something for it to actually collide with, which means that we're going to have to actually fix the tile map. So what I mean by that is, if I want this bug, and I'm going to put it to a different location. Let's say I want this bug to walk on this platform here. So if I was to rearrange the map a little bit here, and I'm going to take this map and I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to put a little cavity right here. And if I go ahead and clear out some of this stuff here, just for the moment, like so. And this bug, it needs to interact with this tile map. So it needs these kind of buffers on both sides. And that comes into play on event number 7 and 8, is that it's looking for when the bug is overlapping the tile map on both sides. So in order for this bug to work properly, let me take my player. I'm going to move the player over here for a moment. If I go to preview, you can see that the bug object is just going to go through a tile map. I need to be able to interact with it. One thing that we can do is that we can actually create where we can say, make this an OR condition. So we can create more than one condition per event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire event by clicking here in the margin. I'm going to right click and I want to make this an OR block, because if I don't, I could add a second condition. So for instance, I'm going to select this one here and I'm going to do a Control C or Command C and Control V, Command V to paste. So what this is saying, this is an AND condition. So both of these conditions need to be true in order for these actions to work. But I want this to be an OR condition. So if I right click, I can make this an OR block and you get the little red OR shows up. So either this is true or this is true, but these are the same map. I want this to be the other type of map. So what I can do is I can replace this actual object by right clicking, replace object. And I want to replace the original tile map with the farm, but I also want to go ahead and make another copy because I have 3 different tile maps. I'm going to want to replace this one as well, the farm, with the industrial. That way, if this bug is on either of these tile maps and it's overlapping at the X and Y position as identified, this action will take place. And so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to fix this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this twice. I'm going to right click. I'm going to make this an OR block. And then I'm going to replace these with the farm first. And then I'm going to replace this with the industrial. And then I'm going to save my work. And let's go ahead and verify. Go to level 2. It said this bug should now interact with the wall on the level. And it should back up. There it is. So there's the bug going between the little cavity in the map, and it's actually working correctly. So that's how we're going to go ahead and add our bug into the level itself. Go ahead and take a moment, add some of the enemies throughout your level, give it a little bit of spice, put in the bug and the bat, and then we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.